Hello, my name is Emily, and I am here today with nationally recognized authority in trust clause litigation, Dan Dalton. How are you today, Dan?
Doing great, Emily. It's a beautiful day outside. I'm looking forward to talk to you more about trust clause litigation.
So, Dan, what should a local church do when its conference tells them that it will not process any more disaffiliations in 2023?
Well, the first thing is not to lose hope because there is a way out. There are several conferences that are telling their local churches that right now. The New York Annual Conference, where Bishop Bickerton is at, he's the president of the Council of Bishops, just made that announcement to a group of churches on Long Island about a month ago. And again, the whole point of that announcement is to stop churches from even applying for disaffiliation or trying to move out. So there's a couple things that we would recommend you do to try to move through this process. The first one is just could try to continue moving forward with disaffiliation. That is have your church vote, go through your discernment process if you can, try to provide documents to the district superintendent, and try to work within the parameters of that particular conference to get you ready to go out by the annual conference. So at least there may be change of hearts or change of minds to allow you to do this in the future. We've seen this happen in a couple conferences where they've kind of changed completely a new direction on disaffiliation in the past, and they kind of narrowed the window, allowing some churches who were in that process of doing that to go. So I would really kind of look at whether you can kind of get that ball rolling and get that going moving forward. The second thing is really look and see what other options do you have. So that would be working with us or another law firm to figure out, is there another path forward? So religious property disputes can be handled by secular courts in all states. The question is whether the trust clause is going to be enforceable or not. And that's going to be dependent on your articles of incorporation and your deeds, along with other items. But those articles and deeds are really your most important thing. So if you're incorporated and you have deeds, get those to a lawyer and figure out, is there a path forward under the current state of law in your state to move forward? If you're an unincorporated association, or if your property is held by trustees, there's a different set of rules than an incorporated entity to move forward. So it's just good, just spend the time and the money, and it's not a lot of money, but just spend that time to look at what you have right now to see if there's another path forward. The third option is, and this is always an option, and it's not a great option, but it is one, is to think about, do you really want to keep or need to keep your building? In other words, what's holding you in the United Methodist Church is not the connection, it's not the theology, it's not the relationships with the conference, it's your property. If that's the only thing that's holding you in the denomination, then really kind of think through is, what would it look like for us to move away from this property? And sometimes it's just not, you're not able to do that. You might be in a urban area where there's no other property available to build. But you might think of like, well, maybe if we just rented space for a while and started looking for another piece of property, or used a hotel or a movie theater or a library or a school gym or something like that, just for an interim time until you can find something new. You don't have to stay in the United Methodist Church if you don't want to. Again, if you're not in agreement with the theology or the connection or your relationships, take that step of faith and move out, and you might be able to resolve your issue at that point in time. But there are definitely options. Don't assume that because your bishop said there's no more disaffiliations that you're stuck in the denomination. You're not. Call us, work with us, or work with another firm to help you move through that new direction.
As always, thank you for your insight, Dan. If your church is interested in hiring our firm to help you through the disaffiliation process, please reach out to our office at 313-859-6000 or email us today. Thank you.